The football stadium is full, and grown adults are screaming like something life-changing just happened. Meanwhile, millions of other people are watching that same game on their TVs and smartphones, and their hormones are shifting because 11 strangers are playing a game. Meanwhile, you did not even watch the game, and you don't care. Everyone assumes that means you're disconnected. But what if it means your brain refuses to borrow status from something you didn't build? Today I'm going to explain why some people feel nothing during the biggest game of the year, and why that might say more about identity than interest. Most people assume that if you do not care about sports, something is off. They think you are antisocial, boring, or trying to be different on purpose. But that story does not match reality. According to research from the Pew Research Center, about 62% of Americans say they follow sports not too closely or not at all closely. Only 16% say they follow very or extremely closely. That means most people are not deeply invested. They just do not talk about it as loudly. So this is not rare. It is just quiet. Not obsessing over sports does not mean you are missing a gene. It means your brain mixes four things in a different way. Your tribal trigger sits at a different level. Your reward system responds to different signals. Your identity forms in a different style, and you place your sense of meaning in different places. To understand this, we need to go back thousands of years. Humans survived by sticking together. If you had a tribe, you had protection. If you lost your tribe, you faced danger alone. Your brain evolved to care deeply about us and to stay alert for them. That wiring still lives inside you today. Sports plug straight into that old system. Teams wear colors like uniforms. Fans chant the same words together. They share symbols, stories, and enemies. The brain sees all of that and says, "This is my group." When the group wins, the brain releases chemicals that make you feel good and strong. When the group loses, the brain reacts like it just took a hit. Sports offer a low-cost identity package. You get colors to wear. You get slogans to repeat. You get heroes to cheer for and rivals to dislike. You get belonging without having to build the tribe yourself. For many people, that feels powerful and safe. But not everyone's brain responds the same way. Some people have a higher threshold for what counts as my tribe. Their brain does not light up just because they share a city or a logo. They look for deeper signals. They feel loyalty through shared values, shared effort, shared creation, or shared mission. They want a reason that feels personal, not automatic. Think about how most sports loyalty starts. You usually support the team from the city where you were born or where your parents lived. You did not choose it after careful study. It just came with the zip code. Some brains accept that without question. Other brains pause and think, why should geography decide my loyalty? That pause does not mean those people reject connection. It means they filter it differently. So, when the room explodes with emotion and you feel nothing, your brain does not lack the tribal instinct. It simply waits for a different signal before it joins the tribe. Now, talking about the fans, when the team scores in the final seconds, something powerful happens inside the bodies of the fans in that room. Their hearts race. Their fists clench. Some of them jump like they just ran the play themselves. This reaction does not happen by accident. Fans do not just watch wins and losses. Their bodies respond as if they participated. Research shows that when a favorite team wins, testosterone levels in fans can rise. When the team loses, those levels can drop. The body reacts as if it just gained status or lost it. In field studies with soccer fans, researchers have also found changes in testosterone and cortisol on match days compared to normal days. The body reads the game as something real and meaningful, not as background noise. Now add another layer. The brain runs on a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine does not spike just because something good happens. It spikes because something might happen. The uncertainty is the fuel. Every play carries suspense. Every possession holds the possibility of victory or failure. That constant maybe creates small waves of anticipation again and again. Psychologists call this pattern intermittent reinforcement. It means the reward does not come on a fixed schedule. It comes unpredictably. That unpredictability makes the experience more gripping. You lean forward because you do not know what will happen next. Your brain keeps firing in anticipation. For many fans, that loop feels incredible. It feels alive. It feels urgent. But if you sit there and feel nothing, that does not mean your brain lacks emotion. It means your reward system does not treat vicarious competition as valuable payoff. Your brain saves its dopamine spikes for things where your own effort changes the outcome. Now let us zoom in even closer. Scientists have used brain scans to watch what happens inside devoted fans while they watch their favorite teams. In fMRI studies of soccer supporters, the reward centers of the brain light up when their team wins. When the team loses, different networks linked to pain and negative emotion activate. The brain tracks victory and defeat almost like personal events. More recent imaging work has shown intense patterns of activation in fans. While they view matches involving their favorite team, regions connected to emotion, motivation, and reward show strong engagement. The brain does not sit idle, it participates. This does not mean every sports fan has an addiction. It does not mean fandom equals dysfunction. It simply shows that sports can reliably engage the same circuits the brain uses for motivation, status, and emotional reward. The system system works exactly as designed. So the real question is not, why do fans care so much? The real question is, why does your brain not buy in? Why does that same goal, that same touchdown, that same final shot fail to flip your internal switches? Part of the answer lies in identity. There is a well-known concept in psychology called basking in reflected glory, or burgeoning. It describes what happens when people attach themselves to winners and feel uplift from that association. You can hear it in the language. When the team wins, fans say, "We won." When the team loses, they often say they lost. The pronoun changes, but the emotional ownership remains. BIRGing feels good because it lets you borrow status. If your team triumphs, you share in that glow. You feel stronger, smarter, even more important, even though you never stepped onto the field. People who do not obsess over sports often build identity differently. Their self-esteem does not lean as heavily on victories they cannot influence. They feel pride from direct agency. They feel strong when they complete a project, master a skill, solve a problem, or improve their body. Their confidence grows from actions they control. That does not make them superior. It makes them oriented toward internal proof instead of borrowed glory. When the crowd shouts, "We did it," they do not feel the surge because their brain asks a simple question: what part did I play? If the answer is none, the reward stays quiet. There is another layer to this. Inside your brain, you have cells often called mirror neurons. These cells fire not only when you perform an action, but also when you watch someone else perform it. When you see someone trip, you flinch. When you watch an athlete sprint toward the goal, your own motor system can light up. On some level, your brain simulates the movement. It runs a quiet rehearsal. That is why a big play can make fans jump out of their seats. Their bodies feel involved because their brains act as if they are part of the action. They do not just observe the shot or the pass. They experience a shadow version of it inside their own nervous system. But mirror neurons do not fire strongly for everyone in every situation. Identification matters. The brain needs a bridge. It needs to feel, that is my guy, that is my team, that is my tribe. When that connection locks in, the brain treats the athlete's success as partially personal. Without that bridge, the same play feels distant. The brain watches, but it does not join. If you do not feel that surge during games, it does not mean your mirror system fails. It means your brain identifies with different heroes. You might feel that same internal rush while watching a musician nail a difficult solo. You might feel it when a craftsman completes something beautiful with steady hands. You might feel it while watching an entrepreneur close a deal or a scientist explain a breakthrough. Your brain still borrows intensity. It just borrows it from different domains. The mechanism stays the same. The target changes. Now think about attention. Your mind does not have unlimited space for deep obsession. It has what we could call cognitive real estate. Every strong interest you carry occupies room. It demands memory, emotion, and time. Being a serious sports fan takes commitment. You need to know the roster, you follow injuries, you track stats, you remember last season's heartbreak. You understand rivalries, trades, standings, and long-running narratives. That knowledge builds over years. It fills space. For many fans, that space pays off. Brain imaging research shows that watching favorite teams can activate reward-related areas and produce positive feelings. The brain receives a clear signal that says, this matters. So it invests. But if you do not follow sports, that slot does not stay empty. Your brain still spends its obsession budget somewhere. It might track markets. It might track workouts and progress in the gym. It might track musical skill, artistic growth, business strategy, community projects, or family goals. The mind rarely leaves a premium spot unused. It simply allocates it differently. But there is one part of this that nobody talks about enough. Sports act like a universal handshake. Walk into an office on Monday morning and someone will ask, "Did you catch the game?" Go to a barbecue and the screen will be on in the background. Sit at a bar and the conversation often starts with a score. Sports talk works as default small talk because almost everyone can join in. When you do not follow sports, you can feel that small gap open. The group laughs at a moment you did not see. They reference a player you do not know. For a second, you stand outside the circle. That can feel uncomfortable. It can make you question yourself. But here is the hidden advantage. When you cannot lean on the scoreboard, you have to go deeper. You cannot hide behind the recap. You have to ask better questions. You have to talk about work, ideas, goals, struggles, plans, what someone is building, and what they care about. Conversations move past surface level faster because you skip the script everyone else uses. And you do not have to make it awkward. You can say, "I don't follow closely. What's the big storyline this season?" That keeps you engaged without pretending. You can say, "I'm not a fan, but I love the psychology of why people are." Now you shift the frame, or you can say, "I missed it. Was it a comeback, a blowout, or some kind of controversy?" You stay curious instead of defensive. When you handle it this way, you do not lose connection. You change the entry point. If this hits home, the next thing you will want to understand is why some people want to stay at home all the time. And subscribe for more videos.